Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. So today I just want to talk about something that over the past couple of days all of us have been going through. This is not going to be a makeup tutorial. I'm going to be taking off my makeup, and it's a discussion that I was having earlier today, because the things that have happened over the past couple of days in the United States, just over the killing of this man, another black man, Mr. George Floyd, another black man who was killed by the police. I just wanted to talk about it because there's a lot of things that have happened in terms of people who have remained silent, people who have chosen not to speak up, or people who have said things and they've just gone the wrong way about saying it. We all know about the protests that have happened and we all know everything, but anyway. So today is Friday and they finally made an arrest for the police officer who knelt on the neck of Mr. George Floyd and killed him. They finally made an arrest. They charged him with third-degree manslaughter. I don't think that's enough because clearly what was being done in this video warrants at least a first-degree murder charge. They charged him with a third-degree manslaughter charge, which is just, I don't know. Okay, so just a little bit of like a background. Like, I grew up in Nigeria, right? And just growing up in Nigeria, your view to how life is in the United States, like how you see life in the United States, is kind of what is shown on TV, what you see on TV. And I just remember for the longest time that, like, you know, adults around me, you know, you would hear conversations and stuff, and the conversations that adults would have, it would kind of be towards like you know, black people in America, like, they're troublemakers, they're criminals, you know, they're just like, the police always has them on TV, they're the ones always doing, you know, one type of, like, you know, terrible act. They're the ones always like committing one terrible act over the other, you know, they don't really cooperate with the law. That's kind of like the image that you get, especially from like movies and like news and stuff like that. That's the imagery that you get. But then it's a different thing experiencing it now as a grown-up. I moved to the United States in 2011, and I believe it was 2012 that Trayvon Martin was killed. Yeah, so Trayvon Martin died in 2012, and I think this was maybe not necessarily my first time, but this was definitely like the first time that it was kind of like a, oh wow, like this man was clearly, you know, not trying to like cause trouble, not trying to find anybody's, you know, not trying to cause trouble for anybody, just trying to do his own thing. And then here comes this man who, because he thinks like, you know, he's suspicious or whatever, decides that he's going to go ahead and shoot him, and he kills this boy. So my thing is, I guess just ever since then, obviously we've seen these murders happen over time. We've seen so many black people be victims of police brutality, police murders, from Tamir Rice to Philando Castile to Eric Garner, and then most recently Breonna Taylor. And I know Ahmaud Arbery was not a victim of police brutality, but he was also murdered by white racist people. And then now we have George Floyd, who was killed for what reason? It doesn't even matter. So I've heard a lot of people say, oh, well, you know, where's the video of what happened before, you know, his arrest? Like, what was he actually being arrested for? What was he charged for? We don't know what happened, like, you know, between that time when they brought him out of the SUV car, and between when, you know, the guy was kneeling on his neck. I'm like, does it really matter? Does it really matter what happened? Like, will another video evidence coming out, would that change your mind as to whether or not George Floyd deserved to die with an officer's knee on his neck while he was yelling, "I can't breathe, you're gonna kill me"? Like, how much longer do black people have to yell? How much longer do black people have to say, "I can't breathe, hands up, don't shoot"? What, like, I mean, I don't understand. I just don't understand it. It's kind of like, what have black people done to deserve the to deserve what we get from just the community in general. Police, from white racist people, from Karens calling the cops on us because they feel threatened. What have we done? We're just human beings trying to live our lives just like you. We're just trying to exist in an economy, in a society that has turned its back against a society that has taken from us. This country was built on the back of black slaves, from a community, from a society that has taken from us, stolen from us, and does not give us back the same way that we give to it. I was watching like a clip earlier today that Chris from CNN, it was Chris Cuomo talking about, you know, basically the end all be all and why all of these riots have been happening. I'm like, not for violence, and I'm not saying, oh yeah, it's right what they're doing, you know, they're burning down stores and stuff like that, they're looting. I'm not saying that, but I think people need to understand that the burning that's happening in Minneapolis right now, the way the city is burning down, this is the rage that the people are. We are angry right now. I don't think you understand how many more times can we say, oh yeah, Black Lives Matter. Oh my God, I can't believe this happened to another black man. You know, black man killed while jogging, black man killed while driving, black man killed while, you know, just doing everyday things that we all want to do. Everyday things that human beings do without like, you know, the risk of getting shot. How many more times? Like at some point, you know what's crazy? We would think that, oh, at some point we would just get completely desensitized to this because it's like it happens so often. It happens so often. I saw a quote the other day. It was something about like they kill us so often. I started to think black bodies made better fertilizer, and I'm just like, it is true. Like black people get killed so often in this country. It is crazy. I'm just like, you're walking down the street, you get shot. You're doing everyday mundane things that anybody should be able to do, and you get shot. And what are the things like? What is the reason why? You know, this Mr. Eric Garner, he was trying to buy a cigarette, or he was selling a cigarette or something like that, and for some reason between him doing that and the police arriving, this man dies because of what? Because of what exactly? God, it just really frustrates me because it's kind of like you can't continue to treat a community of people like that. You cannot continue to kill off our brothers, kill off our sisters, kill off our you know, kill off our loved ones, and then you don't expect like something like this will happen. People have been saying this for a while. Something terrible is going to happen and there will be some form of revolution. I'm not saying that this whole burning down of Minneapolis or burning down of like parts of the city is like a revolution, but like people who are saying, oh, you know, like there are better ways to handle this type of situation. We've tried to handle this in a better way for such a long time. Like, what has not been done? There have been peaceful protests, because even when we do like the slightest of protesting, it becomes a whole thing. You know, if we say Black Lives Matter, then somebody else will come and say, oh, all lives matter. Like, nobody cares. Yes, all lives matter, but right now Black lives are the ones being put at risk. If we kneel, you say, oh, you're disgracing, you know, the people who are serving in our armed forces. You know, you're disrespecting the flag, you're disrespecting America. Well, America has disrespected Black people. So if you feel disrespected, if it pulls a reaction from you, then obviously it's doing something. But guess what? It's still not doing enough, because we're still getting killed like cattle. We're still getting killed as if like our lives don't matter. And I'm just like, I just don't understand it, because it's like, now with this city burning, I know at first when I saw the videos, I was thinking to myself, I was like, oh my God, like I can't believe this is happening. Like, wow, like this is like, it's a lot, you know. They shouldn't be burning down the cities. They shouldn't be like burning down businesses and stuff like that. Like, oh, why are they looting Target? What has Target done? But guess what? I get why they're doing this. And this is them saying, if you're not going to hear us any other way that we try to express our frustration, you're not going to hear us, then we're going to do something that's going to enrage you, that's going to make you hear us. So guess what? The city might be burning tonight, but that's the type of fire that we feel every single time another one of our Black people, another one of our Black sisters, Black brothers, another one of people that look like us, that have our skin tone. That's how we feel every single time somebody's gunned down for no reason. That's how we feel. The way you see the cities burning, that's how the burn and the hate gets singed into some people's hearts. And don't get me wrong, I'm a Christian and everything, so I'm definitely saying we need prayers, and we really need prayers in the United States. Like, we need prayers for everything, but at some point you push a man to the limit, and the limit does exist. Trust me, something will break people. Something will break people. People are angry right now. People are angry, and that's just what it is. So that's like the first part of that. Like, that's just the first part of that. It doesn't make any sense to me. Like, what have Black people done to deserve the treatment that they get? Like, what have we done? We're just trying to live. We're just trying to live. So my second thing now is for people who choose to remain silent. I've been seeing a lot of calls over the past couple of days, just a lot of things saying that, you know, you really need to watch people right now, especially your non-Black friends who are choosing to remain silent during this whole during this whole thing, because it would really tell you, you know, whether or not these people are people you should actually be keeping around you. A lot of people, you can make excuses and people can say, oh, well, you know, what can I say that's going to make a difference? Guess what? Everything you say is going to make a difference. If you have privilege, any form of privilege, especially in this situation, in this thing that we call racism, if you have any form of privilege at all and you're not saying anything, you're a part of the problem. You are a part of the problem, because you're saying, oh, well, you know, me saying anything is not going to make a difference, you know, it's just going to probably make it worse. I don't want to say the right thing. Guess what? That's all excuses. It's all excuses, because you not saying anything is just as worse as if you were on the other side, because you see how people are hurting, you see how people are frustrated. So you, like, if you have, guess what, you don't even have to be an influencer, you don't have to be like somebody who like has like a large following or anything. If you have a platform, any type of social media platform, whether it's Facebook, whether it's Instagram, whether it's Twitter, and you're choosing not to say anything right now, you're really a part of the problem. And I'm actually really looking at the people. I don't have like a lot of non-Black friends, but I do have a couple. So right now, if you're watching this, I'm really looking at you and I'm like, I see you commenting on posts, I see you posting on social media, I see you not saying anything because you feel like it doesn't affect you. And that's okay. That's okay for you to keep not saying anything. But guess what? I see that silence. And that silence to me is a form of betrayal. You're betraying everything that this country is supposed to stand for. Let me ask you a question. During this whole coronavirus period and everything that has happened, did you speak out? Did you voice your frustration like, oh my God, the government is not handling this properly? Like, I can't believe, you know, they elected this man. You voiced all of your complaints. You voiced all of that, right? Did you feel like you saying anything was going to make a difference? You should apply the same principle to this, even if it doesn't affect you. I know it doesn't affect you. It does not. You can never understand this feeling that people are feeling right now. You can never understand the frustration that is coursing through people's veins right now. But even if it doesn't affect you, you see how people feel. You see what people are saying. You see how frustrated. You see the anger. You see the sorrow. You see the news. You see the cities burning. So you know that something is happening. If you're not saying anything, you're part of the problem. You are a part of the problem. I promise you. You're a part of the problem. So yeah, as angry as you get whenever, you know, you see whatever social issue it is that you see that you're like not for, you should get as angry as you do for that about this, if not angrier. Because look past our skin. We're just like you. We're just people who are trying to live a life. People who are trying to not worry about having to give their children, their sons and their daughters the talk someday, so that, you know, their children don't get killed for doing the most mundane thing. The most mundane thing. We're just trying to live. We're just trying to live. Take your knees off of our necks and let us breathe. We will not remain silent. We're going to continue to this we can never, I don't think you understand this, but I think I think maybe there's some part of the country, but there's some people who just think this thing happens enough. This thing happens so many times. They should be over it by now. We're never going to get over this. We're never going to get desensitized to this. This is happening to one of us. This could be us. This could be me. This could be my brother. Even if it could not be somebody that I know, this could be another person. This happens way too often. It happens way too often. So yeah, for if you're out there and you're keeping silent, you're not saying anything, we're watching you. We see you and we hear your silence. Whether or not you think it's loud, it is very loud. We hear it. So to Mr. Trump, who, the protesters who were upset about COVID-19, who were upset about being locked at home and not being able to do what they wanted to do as they were protesting, and they let them protest. He had the audacity to put out the tweet to the mayor of Michigan saying that, oh, these people are just good people who are trying to live their lives. They're just people who are frustrated because of this whole thing. You should give them a little bit. You should respond the same way to the people who are burning down the cities in Michigan, to people who are angry. You should respond the same way, because guess what? We are people who are just frustrated. We're just people who are trying to live our lives. And if not anything, you should give us a little. So this police officer who just got arrested, he's just a small part of this is just a small step forward. It's nothing. It's nothing compared to every single thing. The city's burning. It's not because of one man. It's not because of George Floyd. It's because of every other black man who has come before him and every other black man who will come. Because trust me, this is a couple of days from now, a couple of weeks from now, all of this is going to die down. I mean, am I lying? Think about the Ahmaud Arbery case. The whole thing started and then they arrested the people. And then it just kind of almost quieted away. And that happened just, was it this month or last month? I don't even remember anymore. It just kind of quieted away and everybody returned back to their lives, doing what we do. Because what other choice do we have? We don't have any other choice. So that's just all I have to say. I'm done. I'm gonna go. I just really pray to God to keep every black man, every black woman, every black child out there safe, because the enemy is really trying to attack us, really trying to destroy our futures. Because guess what? That's somebody's father, that's somebody's brother that got taken away. That's a family that something has happened to, that they will never be able to forget. They will always remember their son. They will always remember their brother, their father, who died because a police officer refused to take his knee off of his neck. I don't know. This is just me. This is just my thoughts. So, yeah.